What's going on, guys? So the Thunderbolts is finally in theaters, and I've seen some people asking, how are these guys supposed to beat the Void? He's so overpowered. Now, despite the Void being OP as hell, there are circumstances in which it can be defeated, or I should say neutralized. So I'm going to explain a few of those circumstances from the comics. So I did a video on the Sentry and explained his origins as well as his powers and his connection to the Void. But in case you guys don't want to watch that, I'll explain the Void a little here. So the Void is basically the dark counterpart of the Sentry, which was created when Bob Reynolds took the Golden Sentry serum that gave him his powers. So one of the ways that the Void can be neutralized is by forcing Bob Reynolds to forget that he's even the Sentry. So when the Sentry first appeared and started using his powers, the Void began to manifest. And it wasn't until he went on a rampage, causing mass destruction and killing millions of people, that they realized what the Void actually was. So with the help of Reed Richards and Doctor Strange, they came up with a system that caused everyone to forget the Sentry existed, even Bob Reynolds himself. So the way the Void works is the more Sentry uses his powers, the more the Void takes over. So Sentry typically holds back not only because he's already ridiculously overpowered, but to also keep the Void at bay. So with everyone, including Bob, forgetting that the Sentry existed, he completely stopped using his powers, which caused the Void to disappear. The next method that can be used to neutralize the Void is by forcing it to separate from Bob Reynolds. Now this was during a storyline called Siege, and it was a little after the first Civil War, and Norman Osborn assembled his Dark Avengers, which Sentry was a part of, and he came up with a plan to take over Asgard. Now this plan of his resulted in a huge battle between Thor and the Sentry, and y'all already know Thor ain't no pushover, so battling Thor caused the Void to fully manifest itself and take over Bob Reynolds. So the fight was so intense with the amount of destruction that Thor and Sentry caused that Bob thought the only way that they could end it was by having Thor kill him. So after striking the Void with one of his God Blasts from Mjolnir, Thor took Bob Reynolds' body and dropped him into the sun, killing him. Now, Bob Reynolds was later resurrected during Uncanny Avengers as the Death Seed Sentry, and he revealed that after Thor dropped him into the sun, his body kept rebuilding itself atom by atom, only to be destroyed once again. And he explains that the Void grew so tired of Bob's body being destroyed over and over again that he separated from his body and fled to another dimension. But I think the Void eventually joined with him again a while after this story. Another way the Void can be neutralized is by using a pocket dimension. So Doctor Strange and Tony Stark created a confluctor which allowed Bob Reynolds to enter a dream space called Sentry World, in which he could battle the Void with his Sentry powers. So in the Sentry World, Bob Reynolds could really cut loose without any major repercussions. And when I say cut loose, I mean just that. Like, bro was in here casually destroying an entire moon, and he was even ripping the Void in half with his bare hands. But the only drawback to this is that Bob had to do this once a day, so this way he could live a normal life without worrying about the Void taking over. And that brings me to the last method for this video, and this comes from the same story I mentioned just now, where Bob used the confluctor to control the Void in the Sentry World. So instead of fighting the Void like he typically does and controlling his powers, Bob Reynolds can surrender that control and completely fuse with the Void, so they both become one. And this way he can use his powers without worrying about the Void taking over because he's completely merged with it. And the only reason this happened is because early in the story, the confluctor was stolen and Bob got trapped in the Sentry World, and the only way to escape was by surrendering control to the Void. Now, the only drawback the Sentry has after merging with the Void is that his powers become significantly more unstable, to the point where he could warp reality by simply meditating. So even after he merges with the Void, he has to exert more control on his powers, not because the Void will take over, but because of the destruction he could cause. So these are just a couple ways in which the Void can be neutralized or even controlled. So he's not this completely unstoppable entity. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.